on, everyone, from LowKick MMA. My name is Danny Podolsky, and I'm joined with Caolan, the Don Loughran, set to return in London when he takes on Nathan Fletcher. Caolan, thank you so much for taking the time.
Anytime, lad, anytime.
First off, how you doing? I know you're from Ireland, but you train in the UK. You're not having to travel too far for this fight. About a week and a half out. How you feeling?
Yeah, really good, lad. It's starting to feel like go time. I haven't fought since July. It's a long time, really. It's a long time out of the game, long time training. So starting to do stuff like this and starting to cut weight like more intensively is starting to get the feels again, lad. I've missed fighting, so I starting to feel a bit more real again.
Mhm. Yeah, and you talk about 9 months out since your last fight. You last fought in July. What
Yeah.
improvements have you made since we last saw you in the cage?
Huge improvements, lad. I'm fighting very well. I don't want to give too much. I've been fighting. I've traveled the world basically since July. I've had two stints in Las Vegas. Been there for nearly 2 months, really. I went in September for like 17 days, and I went in January for 3 weeks. I traveled over Alicante to train. I trained everywhere. Trained all over the gyms in the UK and Ireland, and yeah, I've been. I think it was needed though. I think I needed that time to evolve, improve, get back in the fucking win column. But yeah, lad, it doesn't actually matter until next Saturday night if you can show it. But I feel I'm pretty quickly. People will see him moving very differently.
Mhm. You talking about going to train Vegas. What gyms out there did you get to train at, and sort of what partners did you get to train with, and what sort of looks did you see over there?
So Extreme Couture, I went and tried it in September, and then I went there. I'm gonna split my time there from now on. My coach is all on board enough. Like for whenever when I get fights, I'm gonna do the first bit of the camp over there. It's just it's the best man, and it's not even like my coaches are of the technique, and you get dialed in. You're so high level. It's just the rounds. The rounds are absolutely unbelievable. Eric Nixick and Dennis Davis have been so good to me, and they're so accommodating when I'm out there. But like the you obviously have the UFC PI, which is like a 7 minute drive, free food, free massage, free training, free everything once you're there, basically. And then when I'm in the PI, like I done a really bit of training with Manel Cape. He just fought. I think he's one of the best fighters in the UFC to watch. Like I was a fan of him before I met him, and I'm a bigger fan of him after I met him. Pachi Mix, fucking Dan Ige, lad. Honestly, there's so many. Like, and then you think that you've had like, say you're sparring Ige or someone they know, or Aljo's in or someone like Cody Yarbrandt. But then an undefeated Russian guy comes up that you don't know, and this fucker wants to get me because I'm in the UFC. You know what I mean? That's sometimes that's even the harder round. So no, the mat was class. There was maybe 30 pros in on the sparring days and stuff. So it was just a really, really good way to start the camp, and just a really enjoyable way to train and just experience that as to start my camp something deadly.
Yeah, certainly Extreme Couture, one of the best gyms in the world, in the
Yeah,
country. Former
yeah,
champs, I know Sean Strickland trains there, Francis Ngannou trains there, so a lot of
yeah.
great looks there. I always like to ask any of the Extreme Couture guys I talk about Eric Nixick. Everyone I've talked to says he's one of the best guys in the sport. But tell me about what it was
Oh,
working with him.
yeah. Well, his numbers speak for himself. He absolutely is one of the best guys in the sport. Whenever I was there, my coach Mike came over to watch me and his son Jack spar over there, and Eric had to leave the last week because there was Sean Strickland and Tatiana Suarez were going to fight for the UFC title. Like for one gym to have two people going to compete for the title on the same show, that's absolutely fucking nuts. Like that's crazy. So Eric's numbers speak for himself, and like outside of it, he's just a really, really, really nice guy, like a cool guy to talk to. So no, they've helped me so much, and his numbers like they literally speak for themselves.
Yeah, and I also got to ask about, the training in Ireland. You're at Four Corners MMA. Talk to me about what it's like training over there.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. And probably when I go over there to like America stuff, I realize the level of my coaches and our gym. Do you know what I mean? When you come back, you get really good confidence training them guys. But yeah, it's just Unbelievable, lad. And like if I was to start to name off some of the names, like not maybe so much MMA, maybe I'm probably the more high profile guy at the minute in the MMA side of it. Like, but on the boxing side, there's like Callum Smith who just fought on the Better BF Saudi card, and fucking like this weekend Charlie Edwards, Sonny Edwards in sparring. But then it's like Liam Harrison, the Muay Thai kickboxer. Like it's like some of the names that be in and out of it on a daily basis, like more so boxing and Thai maybe than MMA at the minute, but. Yeah, a really good place to train, just like a really fun place to be, which is, I think is because I've been doing the sport a long, long time, so it's very important to keep it like good crack, like enjoying it. You know what I mean? So that's just it's a good laugh. Gillies does a great job keeping the whole thing like good crack. So I think that's as important as anything when it comes to this game. You've been in it for a long time, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, and switching gears a little bit back to this fight, talking about how this fight with Nathan Fletcher came together, and have you gotten to watch the film on him, and what advantages do you think you have over him?
I am in no position to overlook anyone in the UFC, but I think I'm better than Nathan at every part of MMA. I'm a better boxer. I'm a better grappler. I'm fitter. I'm stronger. I'm faster. I'm more experienced in MMA. I've beaten better people. I've fought better people. I've lost but to much better people than he's competed against. He competed for the Cage Wars title. He got knocked out. I won that. He competed for the on the Ultimate Fighter. Got destroyed. Got absolutely destroyed. Got a buy in the UFC, but no, he's in UFC, lads. So like everyone here has got something. If you're not on, you'll lose. Simple as that. I expect him to move a lot, try to use a lot of footwork the way my last guy did. Just about me hunting him down better than I did the last night. He's quite good if he gets on the back, but I don't think he's particularly good at wrestling to get you there. I just think he's fought low level guys, and once he's there, he is good. But it's just different when someone knows how to stuff takedowns and not give you your back. Do you know what I mean? I expect a good fight, a hard fight. I expect him. This is the biggest moment of his life. This is UFC debut, so I expect him to come in the best shape of his life. But it's just about I have that UFC experience. I have more MMA experience, and it's about turning his UFC dream against him and very quickly just making the whole thing a nightmare. You get me? Putting it on him. So I think I've got the advantage everywhere, but it doesn't matter. It's about who shows up next Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, and hitting on one of those points you just made, Nathan Fletcher made it to the UFC through winning tough. That was his last fight. That was in the UFC Apex. You, on the other hand, this will be your fourth UFC fight, your fourth
Yeah.
fight from of a big crowd. You haven't fought once at the Apex. Do you think that experience of A, having more fights in the UFC, and B, having fought in front of those massive crowds, do you think that's going to play to your benefit?
I mean, I think it has to. I mean, I've literally like you hear everyone talking about UFC jitters, and I can't say firsthand if that'll happen to him, but like you hear everyone speaking about it. Like you have these dreams your whole life of Bruce Buffer announcing your name, and then it's happening in front of you. But it's not like it's a fucking movie. Two minutes later, I'm gonna be punching you in the face as hard as I can. So UFC jitters are a thing. Will they affect him? I don't know, but I would rather be in my position than his debuting like 100% because I've had a lot of time. I've now had, but they all went the distance. So I've had 45 minutes in the UFC octagon, which is quite a lot, really. So I know I definitely have that experience advantage over.
And I definitely got to ask, it's a little, I know you train in the UK, but it's an Ireland versus UK fight taking
It
place in
is.
the UK. A, give me your thoughts on just sort of the Ireland versus UK and the history there. And then also, are you
Yeah.
expecting the boo birds or do you think you're gonna get some cheers out there?
No, I'm gonna get booed because I think Paddy Pimblett will probably be in the corner, and he's like the guy there.
Yeah.
So he'll probably get Fletcher's crowd behind him. But lads, I don't care. Like I have a lot of I train here in Liverpool. I have support here in Liverpool. I would go on record and say I've got more people that support me in Liverpool than Nathan, but only because I'm in the UFC. Uh, but I would say I'm a bigger name in Liverpool than Nathan. I know he definitely.
Mhm.
But no, I expect to get booed, but I've been there before, lad. I'm no stranger to that. Like,
Yeah, well, for me, certainly thinking back to your UFC debut in Paris, you certainly
Yeah.
embraced all the boo birds. If they're giving you the boo birds, I'm expecting you to give it right back to them.
Oh, if the Brits boo me, fuck them. I couldn't care less. I'm not worried about that. Like,
And let me ask too, you're a plus 145 underdog for this fight.
yeah,
That's something that you pay attention to, and what's
yeah.
your message to the odds makers that you shouldn't be the underdog?
Well, I'm on a loss. So I actually expected that, to be honest. But again, I just think I fought so much. I don't think I have fought so much better competition than him. The only good, half good guy he fought, in my opinion, is that Caolan Loughran, who actually is 0-2 in the UFC at the minute. But like, it wasn't even competitive. He literally destroyed Nathan. Like for every single second of the fight, he destroyed him. It was uncompetitive. Again, I'm in no position to overlook anyone. But just because I was on a loss, they're calling this his UFC debut, but I suppose he had that like fight off thing was for a contract. But yeah, I suppose just me being on a loss, I kind of thought him coming in, they would make him a slight favorite. But yeah, well, fuck it, who cares? If anyone wants to bet on me, I like my chances anyway.
Mhm. And let me ask too, like you came into the UFC at 8-0, right? And then took
Yeah.
your first loss, win a fight, lose a fight. Coming into it now, how is that for this fight, you're coming into it coming off of that loss. How does that sort
Yeah.
of change the mindset at all?
I mean, this is just the game. There's a really good podcast I listen to. Dan Hooker, he's on that Honey Badger hour, and Dan Hooker's now what in the UFC top five at lightweight. I think he's been in the UFC for like 10 years, but he's lost I don't know how many times. And he says that's just the tough part of being a fighter is like keeping even when you've lost. Like I haven't been knocked out, but he goes, you've been knocked out, you've lost on points, you've got tired, you know that you can lose, but remaining delusional enough to walk the cage and have absolutely no doubt that you're ever going to lose or going to win. Sorry. It doesn't. I just don't really think about that. I think about the task at hand. It's Nathan, and I can, if I'm on, I can beat Nathan 100%. I know that, so that's kind of just what I'm trying to focus on. Don't really focus on anything other than that. Just what me and him are about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and let me ask you too, kind of tough question, but at 1-2 in the UFC, typically
Yeah,
contracts are 4 fights when you first get in. Are you looking at
yeah,
this as a must win to keep your job in the UFC?
yeah. I'd say so. 100%. Yeah, that'd be fair enough. I'd say.
Yeah. And looking ahead, let's if all goes well and you beat Nathan Fletcher, what are your goals for the end of 2025? How active do you want to be this year?
But when I beat Nathan, no, that I'm
Fair
not.
enough.
I'm honestly not thinking about that. I've had that. I've like after I beat Pacheco last time, I was kind of thinking I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then like subconsciously, without even thinking about it, I'm actually kind of overlooking the next guy. So I'm just kind of, I'm really just thinking about next Saturday night and just getting there healthy, getting there safe. Now, next no injuries, no anything. Just be dialed in on my weight. Perform next Saturday night. Like if there's any shit goes on outside the cage in the fight hotel, I just don't care. I just want to perform 15 good minutes next Saturday night. That's like after that, I don't really care. See what I'll cross that path when I get there. You know what I mean?
And fighting in London, main event, Leon Edwards
Yes.
takes on Sean Brady. Give me your official
Yeah.
prediction for that fight.
Fuck that. I'm torn because Sean Brady's one of my favorite grapplers in the whole UFC. He's a Philly guy too, isn't he?
Philly guy,
Uh,
shout out Philly, yeah.
Philly guy, and he's called Sean Brady. Lad, like, he has to be Irish, no?
He's got to be Irish. Or there's a
He,
big Irish community down in Philly. I
yeah.
guess he's of Irish descent.
I think his parents are. I think I've heard that before because I remember the first time I see because it's even spelled Sean the Irish Sean. I was like, how the fuck is someone from the UFC and from Ireland the UFC? I don't even know who he is. Then he started an American accent. Uh, I'm a big fan of him, but I'm also a fan of Leon. Uh, Clash of Styles. The last time again, Leon fought like me later than me, the middle of the night, but that had to play a factor. He fought at like 5:30 a.m. But Bilal was world class that night. If you can't take it away from him. If I'm being honest, I think I'd be favouring Sean Brady at the moment. Just young, fresh guy coming in, but see how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good fight though. Good main event for a fight night.
Oh, it's a great main event. Certainly down
Yeah.
here, Sean Brady is kind of that guy in Philly a little bit. So
Is he? I know
gonna
I'm a
be
big
interesting.
fan.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'll tell you just in Philly, it's like him and then Joe Pyfer, Andre Petrosky, a lot of other names I could go through. Those are sort of the main guys
Yeah,
here down in Philly.
yeah,
Switching gears from Philly to Ireland, kind of an interesting time for Irish MMA. There's a lot of people on the rise. Obviously, Ian Gary almost beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. That would have got him a title shot. You look in
yeah.
Bellator, Paul Hughes. I think most people thought beat Usman Nurmagomedov to win a title. Unclear what's
Yeah.
going on with Conor McGregor. You know, a lot of young fighters. Yourself, Sean Shannon. Talk to me about the current state of Irish MMA and where you see yourself in that picture.
Yeah, it's good to be a part of it, lad. I just kind of focus on myself. Ian was done very well against Shavkat Rakhmonov. Done himself. Him and Paul, even though they lost, they both probably gained uh following and respect out of their loss because they wound up against high level competition, and that's the benefit you get from just taking risks. Even like you're fighting them guys, even if you do lose, you're gonna your stock probably will go up. McGregor, I don't know what that he's doing his own thing. I don't really let him work away, but it's just good to be a part of it, lad. Because like for a long time in Ireland there was no one here, no one at this level. It was literally McGregor, and then he kind of went off the rails, and then there was nobody really doing anything. So I'd have a lot of people in the UFC and Paul doing his thing in PFL. It's deadly, lad, but I just try and focus on myself and get the win next Saturday, and then try and take it from there. And but it's good, like, because even if you go home in Belfast stuff now, and like MMA is big, like MMA is big. People like it's a lot of like kids are into the sport, so it's class to be honest.
Mhm. And let me ask about McGregor too. Obviously, I mean, the biggest fighter in UFC history comes out of your country, Ireland. Do you think he's going to fight again? And I also want to ask, like, with all sort of the antics that's gone on the last 4 years over there in Ireland, has the perception of him changed at all a little bit?
Well, like from what it would have been the time he's like fighting Shad and like Sinead Calvin, or sorry, what do you call it? Where he was getting the walkout and stuff. Like, it's definitely changed from then, of course. But again, lad, I just try to focus on myself. Like Conor McGregor was the guy coming up, and he inspired me. But like the guy now isn't. He's not the same person. But I said this in the interview the other day. I can't just see him as like two different people, really. And I don't really watch, like, I'd never watch a Conor McGregor interview now or anything like that. The way he goes on now, he's fucking nuts. But I'll still find myself watching like old clips and old fights and everything, and definitely drawing inspiration from that. Like 100%. Like, at least 2 hours down the road from where I'm from, and before him, like, it wasn't like you want to see the MMA shows in Ireland. Like, it was like a hall and a ring and a EGA hall, and like it wasn't even a sport. Like, and he's literally. Like, it's mad because I go over to say I've been in Vegas now twice, and the taxi man were talking to me about like how much money he brings into Vegas and like what he does for the city, and I'm like, it's actually fucking nuts that he's actually like where he came from to get there. It's fucking crazy. But the perception has definitely changed. He's done some fucked up things as of late. Even saying to Paul he's not Irish, but like I'm from a similar area to Paul. That's uh hugely controversial. People where I'm from would find that very offensive, but. I just try to focus on myself, lad, but it's definitely not the same perception. He still has fans in Ireland, of course, but there's definitely people that wouldn't be too fond of him. Like,
Oh, well, certainly interesting to hear. Kalen, I don't want to keep you too long, guys. It's almost 11 p.m. local time where Kalen is right now in Ireland.
all good.
Kalen, my final question for you, brother. March 22nd, Caolan Loughran, Nathan Fletcher. Give me your official prediction.
I win. That's it. I win. I get the win.
All right. Hey, simple as that. Guys, Caolan the Don Loughran is back. He fights Nathan Fletcher at UFC London this upcoming Sunday, Saturday, not Sunday, at on March 22nd. You will not want to miss this fight. Caolan, if there are any sponsors, teammates, whoever you want to shout out, the platform is yours, my friend.
Bamberg Construction, that price guy, Frequency Fitness. When's this here out?
Say that again.
When's this going to be out?
It's gonna be out sometime probably next week.
And then I've actually just signed a big one with O'Neill's, which is like a big Gaelic football sponsor over here. So that hasn't been announced yet, but it should be out this weekend. But and then shout out to O'Neill's for helping me out and coming on board. Uh, Unbelievable. That's my sponsor. So thank you, lad.
Awesome. Caolan, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck in your fight, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Anytime.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.